We're still adjusting as Toastmasters to our education program we call Pathways. We've gotten far enough into it that we have questions about how to use it more efficiently, more flexibility. That's what I'll talk about. And I hope to give you some ideas and help guide us as individuals and as a club in the future. I'll remind everyone, the purpose of being in Toastmasters is to help gain, strengthen, practice our skills that you want for your purposes, at your pace, in the order that you need them. Not somebody else's, not world headquarters, you. Well, there's 4 questions I will then pose. Why, what, which, and when. First question is, why? Why did you pick the path, one of the 11, that you're on, those education paths? And do you need to adapt those paths? See, paths get you from current you to improved you. Well, maybe your needs have changed, either because the improved you, your goals, your needs, maybe have changed. Or maybe your assessment of where you are today has changed. Well, if so, you got to adapt the path. Now, you can't change paths once you've started completing projects. So you want to pick the best path possible. But if the situation has changed and you can't adapt the path, and I'll talk more about how to do that later, best thing you can do is abandon a path that's useless, pay $20 and start a new path. It's better than wasting a whole lot of time on something that's no longer going to work for you. Now, of course, it can be that the path that you're on continues to match exactly what you're looking for. And then there are things that I've come to call personal improvement campaigns. And I'll give you a couple of examples. One is Sandy Burke, who's in some of our other clubs. She's decided that she really wants to work on storytelling. There's not a storytelling path. So Sandy's idea, she's going to take the presentation mastery path, and every project she does, all the way through, she's going to emphasize storytelling. So she'll use the path, but use it in her way. One of the campaigns I've done in the past was how I best prepare for a talk. Sometimes I'll write it out like I have this with a handout. Others it will all be in my head. Sometimes I will dream it up on the spot. In other words, I wasn't prepared. But there's different ways and reasons to prepare in different circumstances. And I had to learn and practice how to figure out what the right way to prepare for a given talk was. Because the right way to prepare for this talk is not the same as preparing for that talk. Second question, what are the projects along your path and how might you adapt those projects? The projects are the steps along the path. They provide new information, a chance to practice what you've learned, and then feedback from however you've practiced, be it speech, listening, evaluation, whatever it is. Now, all the different projects have objectives. Vocal variety, practicing body language, whatever it might be. But you can have other objectives in addition to whatever the official project objective is. For example, let's say you're going to practice a talk that you're going to give outside Toastmasters, at work, at church, at school, whatever it might be. Or in my case, sometimes I will prepare a draft column for the newspaper and I will give it orally in front of a club. Well, then I'm having content and I'm trying to practice how that comes across to an audience. I might try to teach a concept to a club. So that's an objective that goes beyond what's in Pathways. And you always want to keep working on the fundamentals. Descriptive language, body language, vocal variety. You can keep doing those again and again. Now, each path requires a minimum of 14 projects to get from here to there. And at least half of those are easily adaptable. So let's, in talking about adaptability, first address the 10 required projects. Now there's 5 projects, required projects, that are common to all paths. You can't change the project, but you can pick content, basically anything you want. So pick content that fits into whatever your objectives are. Then there are 5 required projects that are specific to a path. And you have to look at how adaptable those projects are for a given path. And the most adaptable paths are the ones that focus on communication. Presentation mastery, which is what Sandy's doing, visionary communication, and engaging humor. So if you want to maximize flexibility, those have the most flexible projects. Third question is, which projects should you select among the electives? The other projects you have to finish your path are electives. Secret number 1 is you can do as many electives as you want. You have to do a certain number, but you can do more of them. Quite a few of them are very easily adaptable to anything you want. Examples are connect with storytelling, connect with your audience, descriptive language, body language, vocal variety, focus on the positive, inspire your audience. A large fraction of talks we might want to practice for our purposes would benefit by being evaluated with one of those evaluation forms. Some of the level 4 objectives are adaptable, such as managing a difficult audience, communicating change, question and answer sessions. And some of the level 5 electives, moderating a panel, preparing to speak professionally, have at least some flexibility. So keep track of what projects you've done, what projects you're planning to do, so that you have your big picture ahead of you and you know where you're going and what you're going to be doing next. Which leads me to the last question, 4. When should you do them? Well, you can jump around. Yeah, there's 5 levels: mastering fundamentals, learning your style, increasing knowledge, building skills, demonstrating expertise. But you can nonetheless, if you need to, skip around. You can skip because, well, this project just doesn't fit your mood right now and you want to do something else. Fine, do it, come back to it later. Or do projects ahead of time, if that fits into whatever your current needs are. So use the standard sequence if it fits, but if not, move things around. You can be on as many as 11 paths at once. Not sure why you would want to, but you can. Whether you're in 1 club or 100 clubs. And you can redo a path, but if you do redo a path, then everything in the computer system will get wiped out. So I hope I've given you some ideas of how you can adapt paths to be more perfect, more fitting of your objectives, your goals at the time that you're going to be doing them. So don't just take things as they are in the computer system. Adapt them. Play with it. Talk to your mentor, talk to other members of your club, and figure out how to adapt the Pathways program to your needs. Mr. Toastmaster.